And after some technical difficulties, we are back for the second quarter. St. Joe's faced a 2nd and 14 right there, but a nice dump off to Lamar Jones, about 15 or 16 yards. Lamar Jones, as we were talking about before, has seen a lessened volume of production this year, but when he does get the ball in his hands, he still makes those electric plays like he always has, especially did last year.
Yeah, and Union is starting to really pick up their defensive line play. You know, some of their biggest bodies are still on the sideline. I mean, number 75, he looks huge. And number 78, he looks like, you know, a Vince Wilfork type of build. So we'll see how Union utilizes this guy. But I really feel like, you know, they could be used heavily.
You know, they got some monsters in that D line. But I mean, as we were talking about before, this game looks like it's going to become a shootout. St. Joe's is backed up by a penalty right there, but both teams are just driving with such ease right now in this game. Like we're saying, the high 20s, low 30s towards the end.
Falcons are getting closer to that red zone territory again. That's usually the place Jeremy DeCaro starts assuming all targets.
And we're going to see what happens here. St. Joe's 4 wide receiver set. DeGennaro. Pass complete. Almost complete to Magliacano. Would have been a nice first down gain, but just went straight through Magliacano's hands. It's going to be 4th and 9 for St. Joe's, and they're staying on the field. What kind of thoughts about this?
I like it. I mean, especially in a game that's starting 7-7. You know, the person who puts up the most points is going to win, and you know, I really don't think Houston, you know, is as dependable from this yardage, and I think the offense is so great that this is a risk that they can take.
Yeah, that's a great point by Carly. Quote, team with more points will win what they want.
Oh my!
DeGennaro, a bomb! That is intercepted!
That is intercepted.
DeGennaro aired it out in hopes of a Jeremy DeCaro touchdown.
Yeah, that's one of those interceptions that you sometimes feel like should be given to the receivers instead of the quarterback, coming right off DeCaro's hands and into the safety's hands.
Yeah, DeCaro seemed to have won his one-on-one, but just couldn't haul it in. It bounced right off him, straight up in the air, and the safety took advantage of it.
Yeah, but just to speak on that play, I like DeGennaro taking that shot. The trust he has in DeCaro is just, you know, that's not something you usually see from guys at the high school level.
And how about that bomb, too? I mean, that was a 40-yard bomb that went straight to the end zone.
Yeah, and it looked effortless. I mean, I feel like you could easily throw another 20, 30 yards on top of that.
Yeah. So out comes O'Malley King on his own 4-yard line.
So last week we saw the Falcons D-line almost getting a safety in the same territory. So we'll see how they perform again.
That first rush is eaten up. Gain of about 1 or 2 yards by Todd Francis. It's going to be 2nd and 7 for Union. Once again, game is tied at 7 with 9 minutes left to go in the first half. King coming out in a 3 wide receiver set. In the shotgun. Receiver in motion. O'Malley King rolling out to his left. Pass sails over the head of Renick Dorias.
And Will Omasi was there just trying to force the receiver towards the sideline. King, that wasn't really a great pass from King. It was completable, but Omasi really made it difficult.
Yeah, Will is arguably one of the most physical players on the St. Joe's team. And it seems like he just flies around the field at that linebacker position. Like we mentioned before, he has the most tackles for St. Joe's on the year. I believe he had 11 or 12 in just the last game against Somerville. So Will Omasi really takes a step up this year compared to his last.
Yeah, and he looks like he really loves contact. He just goes wherever the ball is, trying to take the guy down.
3rd and 7 now after that incomplete pass. O'Malley King, 3 receivers. Being a shotgun, going to roll out left once again. O'Malley King has a lot of space. First down for Union. O'Malley King, 12-yard rush.
Something we've seen from the King so far is that he's not staying in the pocket at all. Do you think that's something related to the Falcons D line, or is that just instinctually his style of play?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think the St. Joe's D line, like it has with every other quarterback, is instilling a lot of pressure. But also, I mean, game plan wise, I think they know what kind of athlete they have in O'Malley King. So they like to have him roll out to the left, roll out to the right, so he can make plays happen, and he did on that last one. O'Malley King in the shotgun. Handoff to Francis. And it goes nowhere.
Ben, this Union team definitely has some swag about them. I mean, they look big and physical, and if you aren't looking at their record or anything, they look like an intimidating team.
Yeah, they are arguably the best team St. Joe's is going to play so far, and maybe even for the entire year. And yeah, like I was saying before, it's weird that they're 0-2, but they look like such a good football team out there. And I think this is definitely the toughest matchup for St. Joe's this season. And it's going to make for a great football game.
Yeah, and I told you earlier, some of these guys have NFL bodies, guys like Vince Wilfork, Eddie Lacy. So definitely, a team with a lot of potential.
Incomplete pass there from King over to Darius. So 3rd and long now for Union. And this will be an interesting play call. So, Keth, for the Falcons, do you bring the blitz, or are you confident enough in your 4-man pass rush to drop some guys back?
The strength of this Falcons defense has been his D line, so I think you just let them be and trust that they'll get to the quarterback without bringing extra guys. I think the secondary is also really good. I mean, we have Ty Kalana. He's had about 3 interceptions, I believe, now. Huntley's also in that backfield.
King under major pressure. That's going to be another sack for Dan Bellavia. Bellavia forcing the 4th down there. Also, not to mention, he is 7 away from that season goal.
And Dan is that man on the defensive line. He's clearly the alpha, clearly the guy that players feed off of. And like I said, he's kind of a glue guy for this team, that the team feeds off of his energy.
Yeah, we were talking about before. He's an incredible leader for the Falcons squad, but I mean, still on the field, he is just an absolute force to be reckoned with, and he showed it right there. Bellavia with. The snap is way over the puncher's head here. I believe that's a safety, or at least it should be for St. Joe's.
And the scoreboard doesn't seem to change. I think in the refs.
There were no signal from the refs. That should definitely be a safety for the Falcons.
There
it is.
And there it is, St. Joe's with a 9-7 lead over Union now after that safety on a horrific snap, I might add.
Yeah, and that's just horrible, unwarranted. I mean, when you have plays like that, plays 4th down hunting, you can't afford, to give up points to the other team. You never know how 1 or 2 points might add up down the stretch of this game.
Yeah, and snaps like that are never good. But if they're going to happen, make them happen at your own 40 or 30. Because that snap went so far that it just went right out the back of the end zone because they were already pushed back. And now St. Joe's has the lead and the ball back.
Yeah, and St. Joe's has some great long snappers. I mean, there's some guys who are just loved all around campus for the long snapping.
Yeah, we got some elite long snappers at St. Joe's. A guy like Chris Gentile being one of them. It's an elite long snapping program here on this Falcons squad. Some of the things that St. Joe's and Chris Gentile do on the football. St. Joe's, after a nice return, going to start on the Union 47. De Janeiro. Confidence might be a little shaky right now. St. Joe's, Saketh, do you keep letting him air it out?
I mean, yeah, especially a young guy like that who's so heavily dependent on momentum and the way that the game's going. I think the coaches really need to show that they trust him and that, they think he will be that guy down the stretch.
Yeah, and I think if that happens and you just don't read it into the red bag and not give him another chance for a long time, it's going to shatter some of his confidence. And he might play a lot worse later on in the game. So just let him play his game. If it starts going extremely downhill, maybe then you make some changes. Right now, you got the lead, you got the ball. Let De Janeiro air it out.
Yeah, and I don't think the coaches are too worried about it. Even that interception, the guy was open. I mean, that's a play that, I thought it was an illegal read.
De Janeiro under center, handoff to Huntley. Jojo Huntley finds a hole. Jojo Huntley making the moves. Huntley, possibly a touchdown. It looked like he bounced over the defender at the end there, but they're going to call him down at the 3-yard line. Jojo Huntley, what an incredible play, breaking about 4 or 5 tackles.
Yeah, and I think what really made the play was the misdirection of the left backfield. I mean, we had 2 guys going one way and then Jojo Huntley reversing the other way. I mean, the whole defense looked, confused out there.
Yeah, and I thought Huntley even missed a hole on the outside. I thought it was open. But hey, I'm not on the field, and he obviously knows better than I do. De Janeiro under center again. They're going to hand it off to Huntley. Jojo Huntley is going to get stuffed at the line. And it seems like they were trying to get Huntley that touchdown that he ever so deserved after that run, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to get it.
Yeah, and you can really see, how players really take turns in this backfield. I mean, you saw early in the game Amari Jones was really punishing their defensive line, and then it was Jeremy DeCaro for a couple plays, and then Jeremy DeCaro in the passing game. Now Huntley, taking misdirections and passes. So like we said, this is a really versatile team. And again, they have 3 men in the backfield.
Carl, the handoff to Jones. Jones is the bell cow back, and he gets it done for the goal line rush. Amari Owens-Jones with a 2-yard rushing touchdown to put St. Joe's up 15-7. And I mean, like you were saying, these guys in the backfield, they all have different specialties, different signature things that they're good at. And right there, I mean, if you're at that 2 or 1 yard line, Amari Jones is the guy you want. He's the most physical guy by far in the backfield, and he just gets it done.
And that was nearly blocked, but he got it through. And this is starting to making it look like another 30-7, 35-7 game that we've seen so far from St. Joe's.
Yeah, I don't want to jinx anything for the Falcons saying that, but the way they're playing and the way this defense has been playing, we really could be in for another blowout win for the Falcons.
And this Union sideline is kind of dead with that many players on the field. I would expect that, a lot of jumping around and high energy on the sidelines. But no, it's really been the opposite and really quiet.
Yeah, and walking up to this press box, I was expecting a lot of high energy from the Union fans too, but I mean, with how this game has gone, St. Joe's has just drained all the energy and momentum out of the stadium here. And they're going to use it to their advantage as much as possible as they kick it off to Union from the Husa on the kickoff. 4 minutes and 15 seconds left to go in the first half. St. Joe's leads 16-7 over Union.
And then another thing we talked about earlier in the season was just some of the fundamental things that the new coach Bill Tracy changed up. I mean, you see the players, starting with hands on the ground. I mean, maybe that's to prevent false starts, or maybe, for discipline in other ways. But those are some of the other visual changes that you can immediately point to the coaching staff.
And like I said, I was talking to Dan the other day about this team, and he was talking to me about Coach Tracy, and it's just a different workout program, different feel in the practices when he's your head guy. And Dan said that's really made the most impact on this team this year. And obviously, we're seeing it on the field. St. Joe's is just tearing through teams as the season goes on.
And Ben, how do you see St. Joe's ranking, obviously becoming ranked 49 last week. How do you see their rank, changing if they do end up walking out of here with the win?
I do think it depends heavily on what type of win. Obviously, again, if we walk out of this game with a win, but I mean, if it's like we were saying before, 35-7, I could see us in maybe the top 30, top 40 after this week. But if it's a close one, I think we stay at around the same rank at that bottom of the barrel, top 50 mark. So O'Malley King in the shotgun, 4 wide receivers out wide. King pass is complete and it is blown up by Amari Owens-Jones, but somehow held on to. So a nice curl route there for Union. Going to be complete for about 6 yards. 3 minutes and 20 seconds left to go in the first half. So, Kat, do you think the Union needs to hurry up a little bit here? Do they have enough time to just run their own?
Yeah, definitely. They definitely need to pick up the pace and walking. These guys are on their hips and walking, very slowly. But I think they need to have more of a sense of urgency as we progress in this game. And another thing is that one of their wide receivers have been really quiet. Rennick Douglas, he's one of those guys who is really important for this Union team. So.
I believe one of the only targets he had was that way overthrown out route before. And that's really the only action we've seen. I know he had one handoff in the game, but yeah, they really have to get him more involved. I know Omar Ibrahim has played a lot in the backfield for them, but you just gotta find a way to get those star players the ball. And obviously the main star player, O'Malley King, is always touching the ball. So he's the main guy that's really gonna make something happen here for Union. They already have 2 minutes and 20 seconds left to go on this 2nd and 7. It almost seems like they're not even trying to get into field goal range or score a touchdown. They're going to hand it off here to Francis. And that's going to be stopped at the line of scrimmage. And now I think if you're St. Joe's, you start calling timeouts here, and you see if you can get your own drive going before this first half ends.
Yeah, definitely in St. Joe's, Bill Tracy fashion. It's pretty typical to see them trying to run up the score before half. So we'll see how they can game.
Yeah, I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know if run up the score is the right term. I feel like that's making it seem like, oh, this is our fourth quarter, we're off. Let's just be confident. I think you still want to increase the score before you go into halftime, because this is still a ball game. This is a 2-possession game right now, a 9-point game, and you need to add on to that as much as possible. It's when you reach that 28-point, 30-point mark where you think about throwing those backups in and not taking it easier on the other team, but taking the starters out for health reasons.
Yeah, and just to add on to your point, Union does end up scoring here. They do get the ball back in half, so easily a game that they could come back in.
Yeah, a score right here for Union, and we are right back in that great game that we saw in the first quarter. 3rd and 9 for Union, 4 wide receivers. O'Malley King under pressure. King is going to be brought down by Dan Bellavia once again. Dan Bellavia, his 2nd sack of the game, his 4th on the year. And he was telling me earlier there's a different type of motivation that he has for this game. And, I mean, it is showing on the field right now. 6 more sacks left to go for that season goal mark for Dan Bellavia.
And it's looking more and more likely that he will reach that milestone. Obviously, senior year is supposed to be the pinnacle of your high school career, and he's looked like he's really taken a step up from last year.
And it's just week 3 out of 9 total weeks for this Falcons team. And Bellavia is already at 4, so at this pace, he's going to be putting up 12 sacks on the year, which is extremely impressive, especially considering the way he plays last year, which wasn't bad, but it was nowhere near the level he's on this year.
And Union looks to be in no hurry. I'm not really sure about you, Ben, but I'm in the 2-minute drill. Obviously, the score is not ticking, but I'd like to see more of a sense of urgency.
Yeah, this is still a ball game. It's a 2-possession game, but when you got a guy like Jeremy DeCaro getting ready to get the punt return, it's a dangerous time for Union, and we'll see how this punt return goes. It looks like St. Joe's going to try for the block. And they almost get it. Punt is short, but it's going to bounce really far for Union, which is incredible for them. And it might just negate any chances that St. Joe's had at trying to get some more points before the first half ends.
Do you see the Falcons, trying to get into the end zone, or do you think they're going to try and take it slow and just take a couple knees?
I think with the mentality that this team has, they're gonna take the shots to the end zone, because when they do drive down the field, it's in big chunks of plays. But if I were them, I would take the knee and head into the second half. But I don't think that's what's going to happen. But we're just going to have to see on this first play. DeGennaro and his offense are going to head out. And it's going to be a 4 wide receiver set, so it looks like they're going to go for it all and try and get that touchdown, or just at least a field goal. But a false start will not help the Falcons and that goal. Discipline really hasn't been an issue for St. Joe's this season, I would say. But I mean, every now and then false start, you're going to have to live with Coach Tracy.
Yeah, I mean, that's just something to expect in a high school football game. But, something I want to add is that Union wasn't able to get any points on the board. So, if St. Joe's does end up scoring here, that really changes the game plan for Union.
Yeah, this game could get out of hand if St. Joe's somehow manages to score a touchdown on this drive. It's very unlikely, but I wouldn't put it past him. JoJo Huntley on the end around rush, and he's going to get maybe a gain of 1.
And I mean, if I'm Union, I really want to see him at least try and step up in that pocket for some big throw in the second half. I mean, he looks like he's rolling out of the pocket and looking to the side. I mean, there's guys that are down the field, and he's not really getting the ball to the field. So we'll see how that progresses in the game. Obviously, a lot of missed opportunities.
Yeah, no, he probably has the potential to make the big plays with him out of the pocket. And that's when the big plays happen. It's going to be Amari Jones on the rush there for a good gain of about 6 or 7. But it looks like St. Joe's might be giving up on this drive. About 45 seconds on the clock. DeGennaro's hustling to the line.
Maybe we see another shot to DeCaro or Huntley down the field.
It's possible, but you would think there would be more urgency if they were really going to try and take a shot at the end zone. It doesn't look like it. There's no receivers are lined up for St. Joe's.
And he's just going to run it. Like maybe bounce it or take him down. So I think with that, he might be going into that.
It looks like we're actually going to get a timeout by Union. 22 seconds left.
Yeah, I'm gonna lie, I don't like that timeout.
Yeah, I mean, for that, honestly, like, how much could you really do? QSET will likely punt it to about their 40, their 30. So if they really think they can gain 40, 50 yards on this one drive in under 20 seconds, then good for them. But I think it's way out of the realm of possibility. So here's the Falcons on with a punt. Snap is good to QSET, almost blocked. It's a decent punt that is bobbled at the catch. And the returner, Omar Ibrahim, is going to get very far for Union. He's going to get to the St. Joe's 20-yard line. And all of a sudden, I was just talking that I think it's way out of the realm of possibility, but Union could very easily score a touchdown right now.
Yeah, and it's definitely in the realm of possibility now. Typical St. Joe's broadcasting.
We need some wood that we need to knock on every time we say something like that. So St. Joe's, this defense is going to have to come up big once again for the Falcons.
Something that we haven't really seen this game is too many penalties, and I think, great refereeing, just letting them play.
And St. Joe's has really struggled with that in the past, and it seems that Union is a very disciplined team as well. But an interesting thing that I just saw, Dan Bellavia just got subbed out and is on the sideline right now for St. Joe's. Don't know if that's a hydration thing at this point, but you would think that he's a guy you want out there. There is only 10 seconds left, and they did get forced back because it was said that Omar Ibrahim stepped out of bounds at the 50-yard line. So Malik King going to drop back under some pressure, and the running back is blown up by Christian Nagliacano.
And they were playing max protect defense out there, like 5 guys, in the secondary. So I don't really like dumping it off to a running back there. I think if you're O'Malley King, you just gotta step up in that pocket and hit a guy in the middle of the field.
Yeah, and you still have a timeout left that you could call. Or I stand corrected, they did not have a timeout left. So maybe that's what they were thinking. Maybe dump it off and then get out of bounds and then take that shot. But Christian Nagle kind of blew it up. And they're going to move back. And I actually saw Ben Masella got a egregious holding call against the Union left tackle there. So it's going to move back even further. And both teams are going to elect to head in to the half with this score. It is 16-7. St. Joe's leads here in Union. We're going to take a short break and be back for the second half. And we are live for the second half of St. Joe's versus Union. St. Joe's has a 16-7 lead. And I'm joined now by Jock. Jock, in that first half, St. Joe's seemed to be on a roll, but it's not the same lead they're used to at the end of the other first half. So what do you think is going on different, maybe for Union or maybe for St. Joe's in this game?
Definitely very, very visible on the Union side. Front four for Union, again, we've talked about this again in the first half. Front four for Union, they're just big boys. It's not that they're overpowering the offensive line, they just are a lot bigger than what St. Joe's are used to. Definitely the run game is definitely not good enough for St. Joe's. The air attack is definitely going to be the way that St. Joe's is going to have to move forward in the rest of this game.
I couldn't agree more. I want to see DeGennaro air it out sooner rather than later. But, of course, right now, it's O'Malley King and the Union offense on the field at their own 40-yard line. There's the handoff to Francis. That's going to be a first down for Union.
Just go back to the fact that the run game has been the two scores in the end zone were both on a QB sneak where DeGennaro just got in, and the one handoff to Amari Jones because he's just Amari Jones and he's not physical of a guy.
Exactly.
But other than that, like Takaro's been swallowed up all game. His only yards, I feel like big yards, have been on the passing game.
Yeah, and some comparisons for those guys. Obviously, they're not on the same level as the NFL players, but Jeremy DeCaro, I really see Catholic made this comparison as like a Deebo Samuel type of guy. He's like half in the backfield, half out in that receiver slot role. A guy like Amari Jones is the bell cow back, whoever you want to compare him to. It's going to be O'Malley King on a massive toss here, and they will call it incomplete to Omar Ibrahim. And it is only 1 foot down in high school. I'm not sure if you got him put down, but it looked very close on the sideline there.
Definitely looked like he tried to get a little toe drag swag on the sideline, but just couldn't get his feet down. Going back to Amari. Comparison that I like to see out of Amari is DK Metcalf, big physical guy. But obviously he runs the ball a little bit better comparison.
So after that, O'Malley King under some severe pressure, and what a diving sack by Christian Magliacano.
Just got a little side swipe on that leg, just able to bring him down. Not a full head-on tackle, just a little side tackle. Big stuff. St. Joe's going to sit up third and deep for him.
Really a tackle by the shoelaces there for Magliacano. And this St. Joe's pass rush, just like it has been in the past 2 games, is dominant. And they are all over the quarterback. The pressure is there the entire game. And if you're O'Malley King, you really are limited to what you can do because you're trying to roll out and you're beaten with just pure speed by Magliacano and Bellavia and other guys like that. So, I mean, this Union offense is going to have a lot of work to do after this game, and this O-line has to try and figure it out right now.
4 wide for Union, something was deep.
King under major pressure again, and it's going to be yet another sack for Christian Magliacano. 2 plays, 2 sacks.
Dan Bellavia and Christian Magliacano, both with 2 sacks in the night. Big defensive game from St. Joe's. I think if St. Joe's really wants to pull away with this game, this defense is going to have to stay sharp as they
I don't see them giving any signs of slowing up. This combo of those edge rushers is just beautiful to watch. I mean, Magliacano and Bellavia both with 2 sacks in the day, combining for 4 sacks. And I'm sure they have many more pressures and quarterback hits on the day. What a duo for St. Joe's as they're going to receive the punt. Almasi almost gets the block. Jones on the return. Amari Jones going to get to the Union 46-yard line. Set up this St. Joe's offense led by Daniel DeGennaro. And we said we really want to see him air that ball out.
I feel like for as good as this Union D-line is, I feel like Danny DeGennaro has not been under that much pressure in the pocket today. I feel like the O-line has really held the wins so far throughout this game.